Salakaya Chakshuntamina Tasmai Sri Guru Namaha Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu Savitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Vedati Saparantikam Vandiham Sri Guru Sri Utabharakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Tam Sachivam Sarvetam Sadhutam Parajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Visakamitam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisa Bhanusutade Pranamami Hare Vanchakalpatarvyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna. So we continue yesterday. We arrived at discussion about remember something from yesterday. We was discussing about wait, I'm trying to find this. Yeah, actually we was talking about Krishna as the father of all living beings. That's right. So we can actually coming from here again. So we can also review again that the Vedic knowledge is not coming from, it's not imparted or is not being given, it's not given by defective living entities. There are 4 defects that we have discussed yesterday. There is, we make a mistake, we always make a mistake. And there is an English saying that to err is human. To make error is a human. To err is a human. It means that all human make mistakes, and then also we are in illusion. The second one, and then the third one, that we have the tendency to cheat others, and then the fourth, we are limited by imperfect senses. That I was yesterday was giving this analogy of in the desert, that we in the desert we will see a lot of water because it is very hot and we see the water over there, but actually there is not, that we are limited imperfect senses. So by those imperfect senses we will not be able to get the perfect knowledge. But if we accept the Vedic authority, we study from study Shastra from the authority. This is Aparusaya. Veda is Aparusaya. It's not being given by such personality who is in for defect. And then we also cover this, that actually at first this knowledge, Vedic knowledge, is given by Lord Krishna to Brahma. It's also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 1, text number 1. Tene Brahma Adi Kavayo. So it's mentioned that actually like that, given by Lord Krishna to Brahma. And then also we was discussing about the spiritual sky. The spiritual sky, this is called Sanatan sky. But the Lord and the living entity are actually Sanatan. I mean, actually eternal. Yeah. And also, Lord Krishna is the father of all living entities, all living entities. So, like you have asking last time that question is Krishna is God of Hindu? No, actually, Krishna not only the father
Yes.
of only Hindu people. Yeah, Lord Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that he is Aham Bija Pradapita. I am the father of all. So all living entities is actually, yeah, is the sons of God, son of Krishna. We are coming from him. We are coming from him. And then here in this part, Srila Prabhupada explaining about Sanatan Dharma. So when we hear the word Dharma, sometimes we translate it as religion. When we hear this word Dharma, for example, Hindu Dharma, this Dharma, that Dharma, like that, and we translate it as religion. But Srila Prabhupada mentioned it is not the same actually. It is not, it's not always the same. The word English religion is little different from Sanatan Dharma. It's different. Yeah. What is the difference? Yeah, here is explained. The religion sometimes is based on faith. Yes, Srila Prabhupada mentioned
Mm.
here that usually will be based on faith. Sometimes now I have faith in this. For example, I'm Muslim, and after some time, for example, I change to another religion, as for example, Christian or even Hindu, like that. So it is matter of faith. So Dharma, Srila Prabhupada mentioned here that actually is much deeper than that. Sanatan Dharma, especially, is uh, is beginningless, is without the beginning and without the end. Srila Prabhupada quoting from Ramanujacharya that Sanatan means that which neither beginning nor end. So there is no beginning and not end. So when something is there is no beginning and no there is no end, so it must be not something sectarian. Yeah. And again, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that this faith. Yeah. Faith sometimes we change. Yeah. Now I have faith in this, and then maybe after some time because of different things maybe change the faith. Many people change the religion, right? And this is usually
Yeah.
based on faith. Even some people change their religion. Maybe it's not even because of faith, because maybe something else. For example, somebody getting married to another people with different religion. So for the easy way, so he or she will change. So to that faith, following, for example, husband or wife or whoever. So it can be changed, but religion is not. I mean, Sanatan Dharma is doesn't mean that it's a religion. Yeah, but it's more deeper than that. So dharma means something, the nature. Yeah, Uh, the dharma. One meaning of the dharma is the nature. Is the nature. So the nature of the water, for example, is liquid. Yeah,
Yeah.
the nature of the water is liquid, and then the nature of water. I mean, the nature of salt. What is the nature of salt? Salty, right?
Yeah.
And then the nature of sugar is sweet, like that. So dharma means something, the nature of something. With this natural, and it's not changing. The sweet is the sugar is always sweet. When it is not sweet, then that cannot be considered as a, as a sugar. As a sugar cannot be considered as a sugar. So here the point is that Sanatan Dharma is actually something not changed. What is that unchanging position? Is that we are the servant of Krishna. We are the servant of God in whatever religion we are. So, and actually there is no change. Even if we change our religion, I'm Muslim, I'm Buddhist, I'm this. But we are always the servant of God. We are always the servant of God. Never change. We never change. Even if we have a body of animal, so this also will will not change, because the nature. So dharma refers to which is constantly existing. So we can note this one, very important things. With this particular object, dharma refers to which constantly existing with a particular object. So what is our dharma? Sanatan dharma. We are servant of God.
Yes.
We are part and parcel of God, and we are servant of God. And this will never change. Either you are entering Buddhist or Muslim or Christian. For example, if you change religion to Christian, for example, there also is being you are being taught also to surrender to God. Also the same. If you are coming to Hindu, and the religion is the same. The conclusion is like that. So Sanatan Dharma, actually, the follower of Veda is called Sanatan Dharma. What is your religion? Sanatan Dharma. Yeah, Sanatan Dharma means eternal religion of every living entity. So actually, the follower of Veda, the follower of Hare Krishna is actually not sectarian. Do you know this word sectarian?
No.
Sectarian is like grouping. The Muslim group or Hindu group or Christian group, like that. Sectarian is like different group. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, non-Sanatan religious faith may have some beginning and in the annal of human history, but there is no beginning to the history of Sanatan Dharma. There is no history of the beginning of Sanatan Dharma. Why? Because it is remain eternally with the living entities. As long as there is living entities, the Sanatan Dharma is there. And actually, there is no beginning. Because why? The creation is again and again. The creation is performed again and again, like that. It's like a cycle. So actually, there is no beginning and there is no end also, actually. Do you understand a bit about this?
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah, so dharma refers to that which is constantly existing with particular object. Like sugar is always sweet. If something we found that is not sweet, that is not sugar, we can say. Yeah. So if there is a heat and light with the fire. Without heat and light, there is no meaning to the word fire, something like that. So that constant companion of his eternal quality, and eternal quality is his eternal religion. So now, because we are soul, so that is our nature. We are servant of God. That is never changed in whatever condition you are, actually. Also here is explaining about Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami is one of disciple or student of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So there was discussion once, discussion between Sanatan Goswami and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sanatan Goswami was asking, what is the Swarup? What is the Swarup of every living being? And then the Lord, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, replied that our constitutional position of the living being is the rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is our Swarup, our position, our constitutional position. What do you understand? That the constitutional?
Not really.
Constitution means something that cannot be changed. You know. For example, if in the country there is constitution, right? There is a law, the basic law of the country. The law is very basic. With this will giving all other rules and regulation in the country law. There is a basic law or constitutional law. So it's just like that. Constitution cannot be changed because why? It is a basis for other laws. For example, the laws about education, the laws about tax, about many things, about economic, about social order and different things is given, is based on the constitution. So the same way that our constitutional position in whatever we are doing, and that's a matter of what, our constitutional position is we are rendering service to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then, yeah. There's a lot of things actually here is explained that Srila Prabhupada actually making elaboration actually here. That actually we are always actually serving. We are always rendering service to another living being. Even if a person is a king, even if a person is a president, even a king is a president, he is still serving, right? Why? The president also serving the citizen, like that. So we will not be able to stop actually to serve. So here, Prabhupada giving example, the lower animals serve human being as a servant, as servants serve their master. A serve B master, B serve C master, and C serve D master, and so on. Like unlimited, like actually. Even if a person is a king, even politician, yeah. For example, when politician before the voting, they will make a manifesto to the public. Oh, if if I win the election, I will do this and that, right? They make a promise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is that actually? The promise. The promise is that he will serve. I mean, that leader will serve society. Yeah. We are not considering whether it is a false promise or not false, but actually, when they elected, they supposed to be also rendering service to the citizen. There's a lot of things here. So that is we can note something that our swarup or our constitutional position is to serve in whatever our condition and whatever our we are part and parcel of Krishna, and then we always serving. Yeah. So here also is again explained. Yet a man professes to belong a particular type of faith, reference to particular time and circumstance, thus claims to be Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, or any other faith. Yeah. Such designation are non-Sanatan Dharma. Yeah. It's very, very strong. Such designation are non-Sanatan Dharma. A Hindu may be changing his faith to become a Muslim, or a Muslim may change to his faith to become Hindu, or Christian may change his faith, and so on. But in all circumstances, the change of religious faith does not affect the eternal occupation of rendering service to others. Yeah. Whether we are Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, we will still serve others, serve someone. And then, thus, to profess a particular type of faith is not profess one Sanatan Dharma. Yeah, so by claiming that, in for example, in ID card, I'm Muslim, I'm Buddhist, I'm this, it's actually not. We are not still not performing our dharma. Yeah, rendering our dharma, or we perform our dharma when we serve God. The rendering of service is Sanatan Dharma. Yeah, when we serve. Factually, we are related to the Supreme Lord in service. This is here. Let's explain more. That we are. Oh yeah, I forgot whether I have shared this one or not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, sorry, I forgot we have talking a lot. Anyhow, you hear, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you hear. So we are already coming to this part now. But you are with also with the book, right?
Yes.
So here, factually, we are related to the Supreme Lord in service. There is God, there is us as part and parcel of God, and we supposed to render service to Him. Again, it's coming here again that if we want to be healthy, then we have to put something out in our stomach for eating to eat. So without doing that, we will not be healthy. So the same way, actually, if we serve Krishna and we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then actually we will be happy. It's like we are putting food to our mouth and then coming to our stomach. And then after that, the stomach will digest the food, and then after digest the food, then will come to become nutrition, either protein, carbohydrate, or other, like get some minerals and different things, and then will be distributed to different parts of the body, and then we will be healthy. The same way, actually, if we render service to God or Krishna, actually is is analogized like this. When we perform our service to Krishna, this means like we are giving food to the stomach. Then after that, every part is healthy because it's nourished. Maybe you can read this one. Can you see this text little bit? Uh, just this paragraph. Just this paragraph. I mean, you can read aloud. You can read with the sound.
Okay. Faculty.
Actually,
Factually, we are related to the Supreme Lord in service. The Supreme Lord is the supreme enjoyer, and we living entity are his servitors.
yeah,
We are created with his enjoyment, and if we participate in that eternal enjoyment with the supreme personalities of Godhead, we become happy. We cannot become happy otherwise. It is not possible to be happy independently, just as just as no one part of the body can be happy without cooperating with the stomach. It is not possible for the living entity to be happy without rendering transcendental loving service unto the Supreme Lord.
yeah, I like that. So here's a very nice. Um, if we want to be healthy, we have to eat something, and then there is need cooperation of from hand, from all of our part of the body to work together to get food, and then to put it inside, and then being all other parts of the body will be healthy because getting the nourishment from that. So the same way, when we are serving Krishna, then actually it is like we are giving food to the stomach. When we render service to Krishna, everybody will be happy. Everybody will be happy. We are happy. Yeah. And then here in the seventh chapter, Kamesh tair tair hrita jnana prapadhyante nyadevataha tam tam niyam astaya prakritya niyata swaya. Thus, who intelligence has been stolen by material desire, surrender unto demigods, and follow the particular rules and regulations of worshipping to their own nature. Yes, okay, we can understand this. Yeah, when we desire a material desire, we desire of material things, and sometimes we surrender to unto different demigods, like we have discussed earlier. I want to worship Lord, Surya, and to worship Lord Shiva for different type of benediction, because they will give us benediction or blessing something with material things. But actually, all those blessing, all those things is actually given by Krishna. Without Krishna sanction, actually, even the demigod they will not be able to give the blessing. Actually, and then here, as mentioned, that Krishna is the highest pleasure, the reservoir of whole of pleasure. So there is, you remember that book, the blue book, Preh
Yeah.
Krishna, Preh Krishna, Prabhupada Naipiya Priya.
Oh, she proposedในเพียบริเรีย okay.
Yeah, Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure actually. So that title is actually, it is related to this. Lord Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure. So everybody is searching for the happiness, as is given here. And today is actually the appearance day of Lord Krishna. It's the appearance day of Lord Krishna. We say that appear. Why? Because actually Krishna have no birth. Krishna is not taking birth as like a human being, not normal human being like us. He was appearing in front of Mother Devaki and his father uh, Vasudeva in the form of Vishnu, Narayan, four-handed. So here also is mentioned that when Lord Krishna performing his pastime in Vrindavan, he is playing with his friend, with cows and everything. It's like tending the cows to the hills and everything. So here there is a very nice sentence. The total population of Vrindavan now knew nothing but Krishna. Yeah. So they know nothing but Krishna. They worship Krishna. The Krishna is center of Vrindavan. And one time Lord Krishna was mentioning to his father to stop worship of Indra. You know, I will send you the cartoon of this. Very nice cartoon. The link of the cartoon. That one day Lord Krishna want to stop the village of Vrindavan, the resident of Vrindavan to worship Indra, because it is tradition, you know. It is tradition. Because actually Lord Krishna know that Indra was very pride, and Lord Krishna want to give him lesson. So by how he give the lesson, actually Lord Krishna stop the citizen of Vrindavan, resident of Vrindavan, to make a sacrifice ceremony for him. So Lord Krishna said, uh, Lord Indra is actually just performing the order of Lord Vishnu. So actually there is no need to do special ceremony for him. We are all yeah, Lord Krishna is we are all here as a cowherd man. We depend on Govardhan Hill. We bring our cows to the hill, and that actually Govardhan Hill is actually one who give us everything. We take the water from Govardhan Hill, and fruits, and also others plant we got from there, and our cows is eating grass from that hill also. So we should, instead of worshiping Indra, so we should worship Govardhan. Yeah, instead of worshiping Indra, we should worship Govardhan. And then what happened when they stopped the ceremony? Lord Indra, the servant of Lord Indra, see that people now are worshipping Govardhan Hill instead of performing ceremony for him. And then he was very angry. He was very angry. Then he flooded. He ordered his servant to send a lot of rain, thunder, and everything to make Vrindavan flooded. To make Vrindavan flooded. And then what people of the Vrindavan, I mean the residents of Vrindavan, they were very afraid of this, and then they asked the Krishna, see Krishna, that you have stopped this ceremony for Indra, and now we got Lord Indra is angry to us and send this big rain, and now we are almost flooded. And then Lord Krishna says, don't worry, Govardhan will protect us. And then what he do? And he lifting his Govardhan hill. He is lifting Govardhan hill. So after that, after lifting Govardhan hill with his little finger of left hand, then is making this hill like an umbrella, like that. It's making this like an umbrella.
Okay.
So make it like an umbrella, and then protect the residents of Vrindavan. And then finally, Lord Indra realized that actually Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in the next paragraph is discussing about the spiritual sky, where is the kingdom of God. I mean the place of the abode of Krishna. So it's mentioned here. Nadat bhashayate shuryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramang mama. So you know the meaning of abode. Abode is like a place, or the place of where we are staying, abode. So Lord Krishna's abode is like Lord Krishna's place, or planet, or residential place. So actually beyond this material nature, there is actually a place where unlimited planets of the Lord as Vaikuntha, and also in one part of the Vaikuntha, with the supreme abode of Lord Krishna, is called Golaka Vrindavan. And it's mentioned that on those spiritual planets, or the abode of the Lord, there is Nata Bhashayate Suryo. Suryo is the sun. There is no need of sun over there. There is no sun. Nashashanko, there is no moon as well. And na Pavakaha. Pavakaha is fire, or sometimes it's also electricity. Yeah, there is no electricity. Yat Gatva Nani Vartante. So when we come back to that place of abode of the Lord, so we will not come back to this material world again. And in the spiritual world is without all those light, without moon, without the sun, but is is coming the light. Everything is bright. Everything is illuminate. Like everything is having light from their own self. Yeah. So there is no need of the light of the sun. There is no need of the light of the moon or fire, like that. Everything is self-illuminated. You know this word, self-illuminated, mean menceng, okay, penle, menceng penle, keluan. Yeah, so everything will very bright. Yeah, it takes some time even to finish this introduction, because and after some time, after we finish the introduction, then we will read one verse like that, one sloka, you know.
Yeah.
But this is very important, because introduction is giving us like overview what we are going to study in the Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada mentioned here is Goloka, the place of Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. So the name of the name of place of Lord Krishna residing is Goloka. Goloka Vrindavan.
Goloka.
Yeah, Goloka. Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah, and then now from where we know all these things? Some people may ask, maybe this is just myth. Actually, it's given by the acharyas, and all what acharya realize or the spiritual teacher realize this thing is given by the Lord, because Krishna is giving all intelligence. Is giving all intelligence. So in Vedic teaching, in Vaishnava philosophy in Hare Krishna, is very detailed. Information about God is very detailed. God is like this, God is like that. It's very detailed information. In another tradition, like Muslim or Christian, it's not so much detail about this. How is God? God is without form. We cannot imagine God. It is sin if we try to imagine how is God is, like in Muslim. That is a sin if we try to imagine God. Yeah, because their information is that God has having no form, like that, and they are usually symbolized like in the Arabic. God or Allah is in the Arabic letter like that. It's symbolizing like that. But actually, in Vedic scriptures, is given very detailed how is God is. It's mentioned that Lord Krishna always bringing flute, and his complexion is blackish blue. Black is like a cloud that nearly rain. When there is a cloud near before rain, where it's blackish and bluish, black bluish, that is complexion of Lord Krishna like that. So everything's in here is described very nicely. So we get information. And all those things is not imagination, because Krishna revealed himself to Lord Brahma, and then from Lord Brahma, this knowledge is given, handed down by the chains of disciplic succession, that we got this information. It is not our imagination. So even Lord Brahma is not making it. So that is the way how we accept the Vedic knowledge. Is not like, it's not coming from experimental, like in laboratory, and then with and then we make conclusion of certain things. It's not like that. There is two process of getting knowledge in general: induction and deduction. So induction is like experimental that we are talking. Yeah, we go to laboratory, and then we want to measure this, and then note some fact over there, and then we start making hypothesis, and then after that we have to test the hypothesis first to become a law, or to become a theory, right? So that is induction. Induction is we are making experiment, and then we make conclusion. But the way we accept Vedic knowledge is actually we call deduction. Deduction is that we just need to accept this knowledge from the proper source, like that. For example, if you study literature, some writer might write poems, poem,
Yes.
kavi, uh, kamnap, something like that.
Yeah.
So how to know the meaning of that poems? We should consult the writer, right? We may say something. Oh, maybe he want to say like this, but that is speculation. The one who know what the poem means is actually the writer himself. Nobody else can explain actually, because only he who know. And then if we are consulting to the writer, we will know the real meaning of that. Or we get information from somebody who is informed by him, by the writer, from the authority, like that. So the same way actually, this knowledge of Vedic knowledge is actually given by Krishna himself to Lord Brahma. And then Lord Brahma passing it down to Narada and then to Vyasa, and then handed down like that. So if we study Vedic knowledge from the authoritative, from the proper source, we will get the knowledge. From we can say that actually from Krishna himself. Yeah. Because when we study according to proper source, then actually there is no change. The Acharya not make speculation. Actually, we keep this knowledge as it is. Okay, so far you may have question. If you have question, we can discuss now.
Wait. So here you said to get the knowledge, right? So,
Yes.
for generosity, most people might really, like, for example, in the laboratory, in science, we get the knowledge through experiment and then this
Yes.
and that. But how to get, again, I just want to confirm how to get the, Vedic knowledge is to I don't remember that word, just to confirm, to deduct, to can you confirm again how to get the knowledge, like, from Vedic
Yeah.
literature?
Yeah. So to get this knowledge from Vedic literature, we just actually need to accept from the authority, that actually we accept this from them, and to hear from them, to hear from acharyas, to hear from spiritual teacher, which is bona fide. Not anybody, not everybody, but should be somebody who is bona fide. You understand this bona fide word?
No.
Bona fide mean having authority. For example, if you want to send a letter by post, yeah. If you want to send a letter from post office, so you have to put it in the post in the post office with this having authority. It's not that we put somewhere. So we put our letter any place, but we have to put in the proper place, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So in this way, we have to come to the proper source. I mean that the one who having authority on that. Yeah. So in this way, it's not everybody, or we not just choose anybody, but we should choose somebody who actually is coming from the authoritative source. Like here we are studying from Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada is in the line of this disciplic succession, who ultimately is coming from Krishna himself. Yeah.
Mm.
So the way of Vedic to study Vedic knowledge is we hear from authority, hear from the authority like that. That's why it's called deduction. If you remember when you study math, if you study math, there is we call axiom. Axiom. That there is something true, but there is no need of there is no need of the proof. But it is we can understand that it is we can accept it as truth. For example, in mathematics there is axiom. Between 2 points, there is only one straight line from that. From 2 points in the plane, there is the plane here means not plane of aeroplane, but plane is like in mathematics there is 2 dimension and 3 dimension like that. So from in 2 dimension in the Cartesian graphic, between 2 points there is only one straight line can be drawn. We can only draw one straight line from 2 points. And this is we don't need any proof for this. This is axiom. Axiom means something that we can just accept it without need any proof. This is axiom like that. Why? Because it is proven actually. We don't need to prove that. We just accept it because it is actually the truth. From 2 points, there is only one straight line that we can draw. The same way, for example, here we was discussing that actually the cow dung is pure. The cow dung is pure. Yeah. And then this is a statement from Vedic literature that the cow dung is pure. And then we may something, oh, is it correct or not? But actually it is true. Why? Because Vedic literature is not given by the material people. It's coming from actually from Krishna himself. So actually we just accept it. This is a simplified process for us. Why? Even if we want to test sometime, we will know that actually it is correct. For example, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that many scientists actually have observing this cow dung. You know cow dung? Cow dung, you know cow dung, right?
I forgot the meaning of cow dung.
Cow dung is in Khmer we can say aiko.
Eh? Okay.
Yeah, cow dung is like that. Cow dung is, according to Vedic literature, is pure. Yeah, that's why when you, if you remember, when you go to India, even the place where they make yoga sometime, the villager also, they will clean the floor of their house which is made of just without cement, actually, without ceramic, without cement. It's just soil. The floor with is just soil. They will spread on the water of cow dung. It's actually pure. And in sacrifice, also in ceremonies, we also use the dried cow dung also. It's pure. And then actually many scientists, after studying this, actually, they conclude that cow dung is having disinfectant, disinfectant. I'm disinfectant mean like antiseptic, disinfectant is like antiseptic. If we apply cow dung, then there will be no any infection actually. Yeah, that's why it is used a lot actually. For example, in deity worship, sometimes when the paraphernalia of worship, equipment of worship for arati and different things, if it is contaminated, we can clean it with cow dung actually. Maybe for us is something strange, but that is the factual like that. So how to get knowledge from Vedic knowledge is not by experimenting. It's not by experimenting like that. We just accept it. Sometimes we see it might be contradictory, or it is not easy for us to understand. Why? Because we are having these limited senses. It's not necessarily we could understand at the time. Yeah. For example, now we are informed that, oh, the place of Krishna is like this, like that. We cannot see by our eyes, but it is given in the Vedic scriptures, and then it's bona fide. That information is bona fide. We might not realize it now, because to see the abode of God, we need to say the blessing of God when we are pure by the mercy of Krishna, and then we can see him. The analogy is that, for example, here, if I take out my glass, I cannot even see what is in the monitor. I cannot see the letter over there. I cannot read. Why? Because my eyes is limited. This condition, I cannot read properly without the glass. So when I put glass like this, so now I can see. The same way, now we are still, our material senses are still polluted. So we cannot see Krishna. We cannot see Krishna. But the acharyas and Krishna himself actually give this information about him, and given to different spiritual teachers. And it is the factual. Why? Because this information is coming from Krishna himself and being handed down and down like that. We just accept it. We just accept it. And then not necessarily when we accept it, we could realize, because we are still polluted. We are still not pure. Because Krishna is pure. Without purity, we cannot see him. Without the blessing of Krishna, we cannot see. Like in Bhagavad Gita is mentioned actually. Arjuna, after given blessing by Krishna to see his universal form, so he can see. Yeah. By the mercy of Krishna, we can see. So sometimes people even challenge, like from the atheist people, God is not exist. I cannot see God. I cannot hear God. I cannot taste God. And according to the sign, the principle of sign, so God is not exist. But the conclusion is not correct. Why? Because there is a lot of things that we cannot understand with our senses. A lot of things, even material things also, like what we have been discussing, that on the desert we will see a lot of water. We see something like water, but actually it's not. So even in the material things, we still, by this our senses, we can make a wrong conclusion, right?
Yeah.
Wrong conclusion. We can make a wrong conclusion. So by saying that God is not exist because we cannot see him, we cannot hear him, and with other senses also we cannot touch God, for example. It is just, it's not enough by that, and then it's not necessarily give that conclusion actually. If they are honest, if the scientists are honest, actually there is a scope that there is something beyond this. There is something beyond. Even people sometimes cannot figure it out. How. But in other place, in another part of his book, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna consciousness is scientific. Yeah, it's scientific. What does it mean? So we are given this information that Krishna is like this, and then spiritual world is like this, and then is that scientific? Yeah, Srila Prabhupada mentioned it's scientific. We have to prove this by the process. What is that process? Devotional service. Devotional service by especially chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then we hear about him. And then after some time, when we purified by the mercy of Krishna, then we can see him face to face. We can see, we can understand, we can realize actually. Now we are still polluted. We are not pure yet, so we cannot see like that. So like in the science, if we want to know something, we have to use the proper equipment. For example, if you want to know the how to say, if you want to know the weight of a material in the laboratory, you use that one. What is that? If you want to know the thickness of this book, for example, you need to use the micrometer or different thing. If we want to know the weight of the materials in the laboratory and we use the ruler, this is not correct. It's not correct way.
Yeah.
So now Krishna and the spiritual matter is something different nature. It's not like, it's not the same as these material things. So having another nature. So measuring it with only our senses, limited senses, is like using improper equipment like that. So like in math, even in math also, we can understand that actually many things which is beyond the scope. For example, can you say what is the bigger number? The biggest number? You cannot say that. If I ask you to tell me what is the biggest number, can you say? What is the biggest? What is the biggest number? Can you say something? What is the biggest number?
What do you mean by you? I don't understand your question.
Yeah, what can you tell me what is the biggest number in math, for example? In mathematics, can you tell me the biggest number?
So the biggest number must be number Number 9.
No, not that one. I mean the number 1, 2, 3 and count again.
Oh.
Can you tell me what is the biggest number?
Oh my God.
If you say something
So
such and such number,
yeah.
then I will ask you again and add with 1. And then still bigger, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say which is.
Yeah, so we cannot say. So in math, we will say that is infinite.
Infinite.
So even in these things, that actually a lot of things that we cannot say. What to say about Krishna with this about Krishna, about spiritual nature is having different characteristic, different nature. So it's not, we're not able to make observation by these limited senses. But Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Krishna consciousness is scientific in the sense that if we're following the process, we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then another process as well, association with devotees, and then we perform devotional service, and after some time, after we are purified, by mercy of Krishna and following the process, and our desire to know Krishna, and he bless us, Krishna will reveal himself to us if he want, after we are performing our he desire. Of course, without our desire, Krishna will not, without our desire. Why? Because if we still want to go far away from Krishna, then Krishna not forcing us. So when we have desire, want to know about him, and then we are following the process, Krishna will, by his mercy, he will reveal to us. So many devotees, many acharyas, they even can talk with Krishna directly. Yeah, they can realize, they can see spiritual world. Yeah, for pure devotees, they can see. Because why? Because they already blessed by Krishna after performing devotional service. Start with chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then after we are having this proper way to understand, there's a spiritual eyes, then we can understand. That is in Bhagavad Gita also explained that after Arjuna being given the spiritual eyes, then he can see because of mercy of Krishna. So the same way, it is called a scientific. It's like that. It means that it can be proven actually, yeah, or it can be confirmed if we're following the devotional service. After some time, by mercy of Krishna, we can see him, and then we will see him. If Krishna satisfied, and we have a desire, by mercy of Krishna, we can understand. Even devotees, pure devotees, like previous acharyas, they can talk to Krishna directly. Yeah. So it can be verified. So Krishna consciousness is scientific because we can verify this by the process of devotional service. Okay, is there any question for today? We will continue again tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you have any question, you can, whenever you have question, that time you can make a note, and then and another meeting we can discuss like that. Because if we not right when we have a question, we will forget.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, usually. Okay, thank you for today.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow, and also chanting tonight.
Tonight I think I might be late because I finished my work at 8.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, you can still join because I will make a little bit long
Okay.
session today, maybe even longer than usually. Why? Because today is Krishna Janmastami, and I would like to, beside the chanting, also I would like to read something from Krishna book about
Okay.
Lord Krishna's appearance there. So
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you even come a little bit late,
Yeah.
it will be okay. I try to invite somebody else also to come for joining this. Thank you,
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, and good morning. Hare Krishna. See you later. Hare Krishna.